off. I am excited to be here. JJ saving me from myself today. I appreciate that. And also can't wait to cover this content today because this is some stuff that we've been rolling out to folks and it's super working well. So I'm excited to present it to everybody. But one thing that we're going to cover today is an entire ecosystem of synergistic behaviors that you can be doing that are going to grow your business crazy fast. And I got to tell you guys, none of it's super complicated, but the way that it pieces together is very unique. And we're going to cover that at the very end. In other words, how does this all come together? And how is this really growing businesses at scale for brand new agents? I mean, we're bringing people in who've never touched real estate transactions before, putting them together with 3-4 deals in their first 60 days right now in this market. Why? Because they're doing the right activities with the right intensity over the right amount of time. That's it. But we're going to cover exactly what those are. And today we're covering what we're calling the two-step, which, by the way, if you've never danced a two-step, it's a long, short, right? That's the basic idea for a two-step. So if you've never danced that, Lexi taught it to me. I'm a terrible dancer, but I'm a very enthusiastic one. So I look like a goofball when I dance. But I learned this one. And so we're going to cover 2 long tail strategies, meaning they take a while to create business, but then they're very effective. And 2 short tail, meaning how do I get business right now? We're going to talk about how those synergize and how to piece them all together into an ecosystem of success. Really pumped to be covering this with you guys today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and cover what we're covering today. So this is the real estate two-step, long, short, and we're going to cover those today. Now, if you stay to the end today, we're going to cover this entire ecosystem that I made it so you can't read. A little bit of frustration marketing never hurt anybody. We're going to cover exactly what this is, how to put it together, and how everything works to create that money that you can see there. So let's go. Let's get into this. So again, today's goals are to cover the long and short of it all. In other words, what are 2 long tail strategies? What are 2 short tail strategies? We're even going to talk about what those are. The two-step, as I already mentioned, that's a dance move. But today we're going to cover these strategies. And I believe that every agent actually needs to have these in their business because there's 75% of the market. We were talking about this on Open Coaching yesterday. That's going to be represented by millennials and post-millennials in the next 2 years. And we're going to talk about strategies that actually work there to build your business in that direction to make sure that you are ready to be sweeping the leg on all of that competitive marketplace. We're also going to knock out strategies that you need to know now to ensure that you're building a transaction base and moving in the right direction, but also seeing cash flow immediately. So what is these pictures are awesome. So anyway, what's a short tail strategy? So we say this will be quick. Short tail just means shorter than 6-month turn time for results. You start doing it today, you're going to get paid in less than 6 months. That's good in real estate, in case you didn't know. Often much shorter, though. Some of these could be under 30 days. You happen to find a cash buyer, cash seller, that kind of a thing, to reach your desired result. Why are these critical? Because every single business on the planet needs what? Operating capital in order to be successful. It's all about generating leverage inside your business. And if you don't have any money coming in, it ain't going to work, right? We all know that. But also, while these techniques produce fast results, they can also change quickly over time. And so what we want is to make sure that we're staying relevant. These are all things that we know are working today for top producers around the country. So that's short tail. Long tail, this is what might take a minute. There's a long tail for you on that little gecko or whatever he is. So long tail just means that we're talking longer than 6 months. Sometimes these might take as long as 18 to 24 months, but the difference is we know that these are going to have a good 5 to 10 year runway on them. So if you build them now, you're building a business that has legs, right? This is in a year or 2, you get to start relaxing a little bit on your short tail stuff and your long tail starts carrying you. And that's really important. We want to make sure that you're building for the future. Why wouldn't I want to get some instant results? Well, because not everything is instant gratification. All my millennial babies out there, sorry to tell you. And guess what? The world's changing. So as things change, we want to make sure that you are still in business, not out of business 24 months from now. And so these are going to help you to achieve that. We want you to be in the top 1% in 12 months. So we're going to talk about exactly how to do these and what do we believe those top 1% strategies are that you need to be doing today, maybe even yesterday. All right. So let's get down to it. Let's go. That's my favorite word. Go. Let's do it. Here we go. Short tail number 1. We call it SOI plus PC plus OH. Fastest turn time, least overall cost to the agent. And I really want you guys to start thinking about how to integrate this solidly into whether you're running a team, you're running an organization, you're running a solo agent, practitioner business. That's awesome. None of those are better or worse than the others, but this is going to be really relevant to you. SOI is your sphere of influence, but we're going to talk about very specifically what needs to be happening here. And I told this to somebody yesterday, interviewed a ton of really top producing agents while we were out at EXPCon. And I just went person to person to person. Also, I'll talk to all my buddies who are big coaches, right? Coach a lot of top producers. I said, what is it that you're seeing agent to agent that's producing the best results right now? Is it buying leads? Is it Zillow Flex? Is it, going to, realtor.com and spending a truckload of money? Is it what? And every single person said sphere of influence was number one, numero uno. It's the best cash flow mechanism any of them are using. So if you're not seeing that in your business, it's simply because your approach isn't the same. It's not because sphere of influence won't work for you. It's because maybe what you're doing isn't the same as what's happening for the people who are making it work for them. So let's just talk about that. So number one, we need to call every single person in our sphere of influence. And I do a full financial breakdown on this in just a minute. You're going to see exactly how this works in terms of dollars per hour, and you're never going to want to stop. When you see that, you're going to be like, holy moly, this is the best paying job I've ever had. You simply need to call every single person. And I'm promoting Joanne Graham's absolute best script ever. Well, I'm a realtor, so I love that. Last week, she rolled that out for everybody. And I got to tell you, that is absolutely tremendous. She's with the G team out on the West Coast there. If you don't know those guys, go ahead and learn a little bit more about them. But I will tell you right now, this is going to build your brand identity a lot faster. So if Colby Hansen is in my sphere of influence and I'm calling him on my phone, what's up, Colby? How are things, man? Dude, that's awesome. How's the family? That's great. How's life? That's awesome. He's like, how are things for you? I'm like, well, listen, dude, I'm a realtor. So blah, 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 blah. And I tell him about my life. All I had to do was pop that one little piece in the middle, and I have created the reminder that I need in place to ensure that he now thinks, Jeff, realtor. Those are two things I need in order to happen. I'm not calling for business. I'm calling to connect and reconnect. This is important. We had been pushing for a while to call for business. Right now, so many people are doing that. I would back away from that. I would call to connect and reconnect. Stay connected to your people. It's more important than leaning super hard, putting them in a lock, trying to get business out of them. But do build a daily call log. If it's possible for you, if you can figure out how to export all of your contacts, I finally figured it out yesterday. I have 4,963 people in my phone, right? I can turn that into a CSV list and drop it into a dialer. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could do, but I'm saying do 5 of these per day, 5 per day. Hey, how you doing? That's awesome. How are the kids? How's the family? Man, that's great. It's so good to hear your voice, man. Let's stay connected. Awesome. Right? They ask you how things are going. Well, I'm a realtor, so blah, 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 blah. Use the script. That's the whole entire deal. By the way, if you do 5 a day, that's 100 calls per month or 1,200 calls per year. So even a low return here should kick out at least 8 transactions a year or more, by the way, which the average agent, according to NAR, is at 7 or 8 right now. It's halfway between those two numbers. It's like 7.6. So guess what? That would put you at or above average. So currently, if your batting average is lower than average, or if you're not sweeping up these transactions, we're going to show you in a minute, though, why this whole strategy pulled together. This is going to take you under an hour per day if you handle it correctly. You don't need to stay on the phone for 6 hours with everybody. Second off, though, in this strategy, PC, past clients. Jeff, I'm a new agent. Great. Lean harder on your sphere. Okay. But if you have past clients, there's absolutely no excuse not to be calling them. And I will tell you, I saw this stat again the other day. What was it? 9 out of 10. It's some absurd number. There are 93% of agents do not ever call a buyer or a seller after they close. I just want to let that sink in. It's over 90%. I know that. Over 90%, according to NAR, never call their past clients once they close. Never, ever. Holy crap. Everybody is being orphaned out there. They could all be past clients of some agent, but instead they're not. That is your golden opportunity. Shoot, I'd be going and door knocking people who closed 3 days ago. Hey, how you doing? We just wanted to check on you, see how things are coming. I know you closed a few days ago. Gosh, I'm the area representative here, and I sure would love to keep a relationship together. Dude, just go in and start building those relationships. That's incredible. But check this out. Call every single past client monthly. I had this vetted by every single person. We're talking people who have been winning the Icon Award 7 times in a row. They're like, I'm doing this. For sure, right? So we're rolling this out to everyone we're coaching, including you guys. This is incredible. Call every single past client monthly with an item of value for the next year. That could even be an article. It could be like, hey, I can plug you in and give you a bi-weekly market update or a monthly market update or a weekly market update, whatever you want. Item of value, what would that be, right? Something easy for them to digest, no effort on their part. This is the top strategy of every producer I know, period. Why? Because your past clients have already done business with you. We know from NAR that 89% of people say they would do business with their last agent, but only, I think it's like 11 or 9 or 7% actually do. What's the disparity? It's just communication. This is it. This is where you need to be leaning in. And if it's not your past clients, whose past clients would you like to go adopt? Because I guarantee they're not keeping up with them. Steal their past clients. Next up, this call matters a ton. And again, feel free to use Joanne's, well, I'm a realtor, so script. Hey, Bob and Linda, how are things going? I'm so excited. It's been a while, man. Oh, that's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. They're like, hey, Jeff, how are things for you? Oh, well, I'm a realtor, so, I'm busy as always. But listen, enough about me. That's all I need to say. I've reminded them about real estate in the conversation. Listen, I just want to stay connected with you guys. I might touch base from time to time. Anything I can do for you right now? I'm not saying specific to real estate. Not right now, Jeff. Gosh, I can't think of anything. Gosh, you guys are amazing. If I can ever help you in any way, let me know. Be happy, be in a hurry, get off the call. It doesn't need to take your entire life. Don't be afraid of these calls. This is just a customer service touch point. Can you imagine if you bought something as big as a house and then somebody called you every once in a while to check in, say, how are you doing? Anything I can help you with? They may say, you know what? We were going to get our house painted. Do you happen to know a good house painter? You know what? I know a few. Let me send you those. Even if you don't know them, that's okay. Look around, you'll find them and then send them 3. That's awesome. Next up, and I would recommend every single one of these that you've ever had that you call this month if you haven't been calling them recently. But Jeff, I've got 600 past clients. Yeah, get on it then, baby. Get a dialer. I don't care what you got. Hire a team of people to do this calling with you. I don't care. This is so critically important. You will build a massive book of business for your next year with just this. And by the way, I would put them on an email drip. And my very favorite is the KV Core Market Report. I know some people are like, it's not as pretty as some of the other ones that I can pay $1 trillion for. Yes, but you don't need to pay $1 trillion. What you need is to be in touch. That's the big one. Okay. So go out, get this lined up for people so that they can see exactly how to do this. That's going to be really, really significant for them to be able to kind of see how to do it, feel connected to the process. And if you don't know how to do that, I can walk you through it another time. Super easy. Okay. So that is our short tail strategy, but we're not quite done yet because that was sphere of influence plus past clients. By the way, all of this can happen in an hour a day. Everything I'm covering right now, 1 hour a day. Well, I don't have an hour a day. Really? Stop watching Netflix. Here we go. Open houses. I'm not saying do an open house every day. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm not saying to do that. However, if you're not doing at least 1 open house a week, you are definitely missing out. I was talking with Jeff and Amanda Whitespear out of a Houston market the other day. Gosh, those guys are just murdering it right now. Holy moly. And guess what? Their number one strategy right now, pouring into open houses, just crushing it. Why is that so important? Because people are out there looking at property. We think that they aren't. They simply feel bottlenecked by what their capacity is. Your job is to be a problem solver, but you can't do that if you're not talking to anybody. So put yourself in the pathway of people who are looking at properties. Now, remember, open houses only sell 4% of the time, according to NAR. So if Aaliyah is holding an open house, and she holds 100 open houses, only 4 of them will sell while she does that. Or in other words, if she holds 25, 1 of them will sell. Well, is that even worth it? Yes, because every single person who comes in the front door is a real estate prospect somehow. They're either thinking about buying or they're thinking about selling, and that's it. Well, what if they're just noodling around? No, nobody noodles around and goes inside of an open house. Stop deluding yourself. They may tell you that because they don't. That's like going into the shoe store and the gal walks up to you or guy and says, hey, can I help you with anything while you're actively looking at shoes? And you're like, no, I'm just browsing. Yeah, you're browsing because you might buy some shoes. You just don't want help right now. They're just pushing you off. That's okay. Listen, if I can be helpful, I'd love to. Here's my card. Here's a flyer. Here's some information, blah, blah, blah. Let me grab your info while I'm at it. I'll send you some free stuff. To do on this one, and we've covered this on other trainings, so I'm not going to belabor this point today, over 20 signs. I know people think I'm joking with this one. I'm not joking. Over 20 signs. Print out the Google Maps of the property, look at every major intersection, put multiple signs at every major intersection, make sure that it's not possible to be driving within a couple miles of that property without going, what in the world is going on down that street? There's so many signs. This is obnoxious, because that is how you get people into an open house. I'm telling you, signs, by the way, are the number one draw. Signs. It's old school, but the nice thing is it's so easy to hack. Signs are cheap. They don't have to be I don't have a ton of money. Great. Go to, dude, my very first open house, I had no money. I went over to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever it was. I was right by my house. I bought those like blank white, the trashy signs, the ones that look like you don't know what you're doing. I wrote my name in permanent marker at the bottom. It looked like garbage. And then I used like puff paints. Looked like a kid had drawn the whole thing, and it said free cookies. Open house was the smaller part. I had like 50 people at my first open house. Apparently people like cookies. Who knew? All right, just do it. Live videos while you're there to social media and YouTube. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Why? Because that's synergy. Do it while you're there. You're just showing you're demonstrating that you're active in the marketplace. That is important. People need to see you being active in order for them to be willing to do business with you, right? So important. And by the way, I'm not totally watching the chat here, but I did see that Zoe Baraja is also an awesome Oregon broker. We put all of our past clients on the market report and they love it. Yes, I love that. Thanks for tracking along with me. Sorry, I'm not seeing the chat as quickly. I'll try and stay on top of it, guys. And then you're going to want to door knock 100 doors before the open house with flyers. Why with flyers? Some people won't answer. That's fine. Put the flyer in the door. I always use a really obnoxious color, something in the fluorescent something category, right? Fluorescent green, fluorescent pink, fluorescent yellow. Why fluorescent? Because you can be driving down the street and you see that there's something tucked into the door. That's okay. Just make sure you tuck it in a way where it's going to hold and do not damage their property while you do it. All right. When executed properly, and here's what's fun, this is going to get you into a ton of conversations. Now, brace yourself for some math, guys, because I break it down exactly why this works so well right here. And this is going to blow your mind if you haven't seen this before. All right, 100 sphere of influence conversations per month. That's the 5 per day that I was mentioning. You'll notice I only have you working 5 days a week here doing that. 1 day a week on the open house, and you take 1 day a week to, to relax if you want. Or work that day. That's fine with me. 20 past client conversations per month. Well, that's too many. Really? That's 1 a day, dude. Come on. I can't make 6 phone calls. All right, then do something else. 20 open house conversations. That's only 1 open house per week. What I'm guessing is if you use 20 signs, you will have 5 people minimum show up for each of these open houses, so long as you pick a house that's not located 800 miles from civilization. Okay? So that should be good. But check this out. If I do the math on that, guys, and this is only working 48 weeks out of the year, taking 4 weeks off. Well, I want to take my birthday off and I want to take Christmas off and I want to take, that's great. Take holidays, baby. That's all good. This is still getting you in front of 1,680 people per year. Now, let me ask you, how many people by a raise of internal hands, don't out yourself right now, just inside your own mind, think, did I really talk to 1,680 fresh contacts or sphere of influence past client contacts in the last 12 months, myself, even if you're a kick-ass producer? And if the answer is no, then that's why the following didn't happen. Because check this out. This is the traditional breakdown on these conversion metrics. And I know these because I've read the conversion code by Chris Smith, and he breaks all this stuff down. It's an awesome book, by the way. Assume a 1.5% conversion ROI. That's 1 out of every 66, direct or indirect. What do you mean by indirect? It means if I'm talking to Joanne and Joanne isn't getting ready to buy, sell, or invest, but her friend is, she's like, well, you should talk to Larry because he is. Awesome. Thanks, Joanne. That's indirect. Direct would be I'm talking to Jordan. Jordan says, you know what? I am thinking about being an investor this year. We wanted to get started. We've heard it's a good time to invest. Yeah, it is. Dude, let's talk about that. Let's set up an appointment for tomorrow, right? That's direct versus indirect. 1 out of every 66. Realistically, you can totally suck and it's going to be okay. How do I know? Because that's 1.5%. That's really terrible. But check this out. That's 25 transactions over 12 months. So if you're not doing this, that's 25 more transactions over the next 12 months. That's top 5% in the United States, by the way. If you'd like to leap above the 95% and be in the top 5, just do this. Next up, Look at this. Let's say that they're 10,000 gross commission each. That's 250,000 or $130 an hour. And that's assuming you're working 8 hours a day, not what I said, which is 1 hour a day, which would drive your hourly income to, roughly $1,000 an hour. Well, it's not worth it. I'm going to go get a job at Starbucks for, 18 cents an hour instead of working for $130 an hour doing this. It just doesn't pay every single hour. What really happens is windfalls. It's called windfalls, right? So you have to wait for those. But that's $1,040 per 8-hour workday, just to be clear. Is that worth it? I'd say it's worth it. Let's go on to the next one. So we're going to connect all these at the end. I'm going to show you how this ecosystem works together. And literally, this could be all of your 8-hour days. I'm going to show you everything that you could be doing right now. And that's all you would need to do. I promise you will dominate over the next 12 months. Next up, short tail number 2, and this is database. This word is not sexy, but the approach is. So here we go. I'm gonna break down exactly how this works and how it synergizes with the last step. Because by the way, if you want exponential gains, it's one thing to talk to people. It's another thing to leverage an enormous number of contacts to build something of true significance. So this is really where it gets fun. All right. So how, right now, you have to ask yourself this question. How are you building your database daily? How are you building it every single day? It could be, by the way, if you're just calling sphere of influence, add every single person to your database every single day. Well, what's a database? That's your CRM. If you're already with us at EXP, you have KV Core for free. Just as a reminder, that's $600 a month that you'd have to pay for if you weren't with us. So I'm excited that you are with us. It's a killer CRM. Go use it. Who's going in there? Everybody. In my book, everybody should be going in there. Everybody. Who? Everybody. And then how many do you add per day, per week, per month, and per year? You need to set goals for that. We could take that back to strategy number 1, right? At a bare minimum, these 1,680 people we were talking about, by the end of the year, all 1,680 of them should be in there. Why are we doing this? Because the alternative is that you're building your business like it's Groundhog Day. Did anyone watch that stupid movie with Bill Murray? Groundhog Day, you remember that one? Where he keeps living the same year again and again and again, or day, I think it was day, actually, not year. But that's kind of what some agents do in real estate. How much did you make last year? Man, I made 300 grand. That's awesome. How much did you save? None of it. Holy moly. Why? Well, because I liked starting over every single year and starting from zero. It's much more fun to be teleported back down to the bottom of the mountain, have to climb it over and over instead of building a house at the top. That's dumb. Don't do that. So instead of doing that, we are going to build our database that builds permanence into our operations. And database work is cumulative and exponential, meaning it helps your business to amplify over time. It's really exciting. So we're going to do this the right way. And it grows a lot faster than you'd think. So the next part, though, is what is the secret here? Well, the secret is that we can synergize this with what we just talked about with your sphere of influence, your past clients, and your open houses. And it's going to amplify the impact of that first strategy without a ton more time. In fact, I would argue you add maybe a couple hours more per week here, and you can literally double your hourly wage. Beg your pardon? Double my hour? Yes, double. So another $100 or so an hour. That sounds great. Let's do it. All right. So what do we do? Well, let's imagine this. What if every single time that you talk to a sphere of influence, past client, or an open house contact, you also added them to your database? That means you'd add 1,680 people just on that one strategy to your database per year, or 8,400 people over 5 years. Raise your hand if you have 8,400 people in your database. That one's a real question. Feel free. There are some people on here who I know do. We took this very seriously on our team. I think in 1 year, we built out 36,000 people in our database. It's totally possible, guys. You just have to be purposeful about doing it, right? For every big business out there, you look at what's a huge company that all of you, Rocket Mortgage, right? They're a train wreck. If you have anybody you don't like, register them for Rocket Mortgage. They'll hear from them every 20 minutes for the rest of their life. But what do? They build a database. That's all they do. That's their whole entire business model. Ginormous database outreach. Why? Law of large numbers. So guess what? What I want you to think about, though, is if you add all these people, we're talking 8,400 just on that one strategy per year or every 5 years. But here's the nice part. We know for a fact this would increase your conversion rating from at least 1.5% to 3%. That's $130 more per hour. And that's assuming that you're still working 8 hours a day, which means it's much more than that. It's much, much more than that, actually. Now, here's where it gets really fun. Exactly what to do. And we're going to show you all the way down to the click buttons. I see Liz Boisvert on the call. She's going to be excited because we're going to show you a KV Core strategy. She's an awesome KV Core trainer. So you're going to add each and every contact into your database. Each agent at eXp Realty can use KV Core, as I already said, and it's 100% free to you. It works great. It's amazing. You're going to add at least their name, email, and phone number. What if I don't have one? Great. Talk to those people and get their contact info, man. That's job number one. How the heck are you going to reach out to people if you don't have that stuff? And then you're going to set every single person up for a weekly market report. Isn't weekly too much? No. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Put 8,400 people. If half of them unsubscribe, you got 4,000 people hearing from you once a week. It's more than you do right now. Let's go. Who cares? But here's the other nice part. Tag them with hashtag. By the way, we call these just tags. This is how you can sort your lists inside KV Core. So tag them with sphere of influence, past client, open house, or any other tags that you need so you can know where they came from and be able to sort by their intent and the way that they entered your ecosystem. You're going to get better at this the more you do it, but at a bare minimum for this strategy, that's what you're going to need. Now, here's what's really fun. You're going to send one automated or fully manual, I don't really care, but mass SMS. We should have said mass right there instead of auto. What's an SMS, Jeff? That's a text message per month about a new YouTube video that you just posted that's helpful to everyone in your database. What if I don't have a YouTube channel? We're going to be talking about that in just a minute, guys. You will. And your best one from the last 30 days is the one that you're going to be sending out to everybody so that you can get, I don't know, 1,680 more views and 3% of that more subscribers. Pick up another 30 to 50 subscribers every single month just by doing this strategy. Well, it's not worth it. Yes, it is. I promise it is. We're going to start getting you paid by YouTube just to build your business. It's incredible. Next up, that's it. You'll see, you're going to enjoy the results. Now, here's how to do it. If you've never done this before, I went ahead and redacted the details on this particular person in our KV Core, but I wanted you to know we haven't even ranked this person yet. Here's how to add a market report. If you've never done it before, you have to scroll down over here on the right-hand side of the screen. You're going to see this place says market reports. Well, what if I don't have their address? You don't need their address. What city are they in? That's good enough. They will get this every 7 days. If you say every 7 days on there, click go. You have to do this manually per person. Well, that's too much work. That takes 4 seconds. It's not too much work. Spend the 4 seconds. Times 1,680, you still got time left in your day. All right? I promise this is going to work out. But this is a huge strategy. If you have any questions on this one, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Liz. I know she's a monster. Holy moly, she just said Allie has 12,000 people in her KV Core. That's insane. Yeah, and Liz is happy to help if anyone wants to know how to do this or even a lot more. She's very sophisticated inside KV Core. I'm not as smart as she is in the platform, but I will say this. One thing I know for sure is if people hear from you more often, that's better. And this gives them something they actually want. It says there's this many more listings. There's this many more buyers. It's gone up. It's gone down. Pricing's gone up. It's gone down. Who cares? It's not about the good or bad. It's about the consistency of them hearing from you. So every single week, they think about two things, your name and real estate. That's what we really want. That's all we're looking to accomplish, guys. It's not about what's in the report. Too many people get hung. Well, it's got to be prettier than that. No, it doesn't. They're not even going to open the email most of the time. They're going to simply see, Joanne sent me an email with a market report. Man, she's on it. Gosh, she works hard all the time, doesn't she? That's so cool. Delete. Up until 1 week, they go, we are actually thinking about selling our house. Click, call. That's the moment you're looking for. But that moment never shows up if you don't send the email. Let the system work for you in an automated way. You don't even have to remember to send it. This will send us 6 million people a week if you put 6 million people in there. All right. Long tail number one. Now, we're going to go a slightly different direction with this particular strategy today, but I am going to show you some things that I think you cannot be heading into the future of real estate without. And definitely one of them is YouTube. There is absolutely no doubt now, it's a 100% guarantee. Agents who are on YouTube and are doing it well are going to dominate the marketplace in the next 12 to 24 months. And in fact, I'm going to kill my screen share for a second so I can explain this. Here's why. 75% of buyers over the next 2 years are going to be millennials and post-millennials. They're coming into their buying age. We can see the capital starting to free up on their end, and they're not tied to 3% mortgages because they don't own a house yet. So they're nimble. They can actually make some moves. Yeah, maybe we need to free up how, available capital is for them or lending, et cetera, when rates come down. Maybe, but maybe not, right? Remember in the 80s and 90s and even 2000s when rates were worse than they are now and people were still buying and selling real estate, man. A lot of it, actually, as it turns out. I think my parents' first house was at over 20% financing. I'm like, geez Louise, what'd you own by the time you sold it? Holy moly. But it doesn't matter because some of them need to buy. It's still a better deal than renting, so why not? But here's the beautiful thing. We know that all of those folks are going to be buying inventory. The greatest selling contingency over the next 1 to 3 years are going to be people over the age of 60 who have lived in their house for 10 years or longer. I have a friend who owns a lending practice. They're in 27 states. We were talking this week, and he told me they've already got the data to support this. It's going to be a flood of inventory. Why? Because they need to sell. It's not a want. So over 60, 10 years or longer, they're going to sell. We're talking our people in their 20s are going to buy. Everyone in the middle, I don't know, they'll do some stuff. It's not going to be as sexy as those outliers, right? So we got some older people selling to some younger people. That's what's going to be coming up. So get ready for that, right? How do you get ready for that? How do you tap into that upcoming buyer market? You have to go where they exist. And one of the places where they exist, if you're not already familiar with it, is YouTube, right? It has become the new way of consuming content. It's educational. It's super relational. It's a way of building your business online like it never existed. And do you remember when websites became a thing and finally you were like, I guess I should have a website, right? That's so passé now. The new version of a website is a YouTube channel. So if you don't have one and you're going, well, I'll wait, don't do that anymore. Please don't hurt yourself. I'm telling you, this is coming and it is unavoidable and you must be in the game. So let's cover some stuff today, though that's going to be really empowering. By the way, you don't need to go become a genius in order to pull this off, guys. This can be sloppy at first. I just want you to know it can be sloppy and still work, but you got to be in the game. Less than 3% of agents right now have a YouTube channel at all. So you're going to be literally in the top 3% in a year if you just get going on this hardcore today. Dude, that's worth it. If you didn't hear that. Why is this so important in the next 12 months? Because there's validity to your business and relationship at scale. Also, you're going to rank #1 on Google pretty much overnight for your name, for your community, whatever it is you're looking to do. We're going to give you some big key pointers. We've been helping some people build their YouTube presence and also super low key building some stuff for the community. That's not really our focus right now. However, it's going to be, holy moly. All right. In the next 12 months, as the digital landscape continues to evolve, real estate agents who harness the power of YouTube are going to have a competitive advantage. We just said that clients are looking for their properties. They're looking for their agents. They're looking for representation, but it actually goes further. They're looking at YouTube when they're even just picking where they might want to move. They want to learn about grocery stores. They want to learn about why it's a cool place. They want to learn about the 5 worst neighborhoods in town so that they don't end up living there, whatever it is. Why is it going to be so critical? Because of visual appeal and engagement. Look at this. YouTube is a visual platform, high quality videos that showcase properties, provide an immersive experience, right? A video is way better than me having to click through. Has anyone actually gone through a Matterport tour? Does anyone else go through Matterport tours like I do and use every single 4-letter word in the English language? Because you're like, why am I staring at the floor and at the ceiling? I don't understand.
Yes.
I knew it was going to be you, Joanne, but I feel it, man. I feel the pain. And it's 100 times worse. I think I broke an iPhone one time trying to do one from my phone. I ended up calling 12 friends who live in Russia. I'm like, I can't do this. This is awful. Matterport tours suck. God bless them. They've made a ton of money, but if you're spending a tremendous amount of money on that, don't do it. Do a video. It's a million times better. Music behind it, go fast enough that they can consume the whole video. It's a brilliant thing. And then you put that on YouTube. That's great. We're going to talk about why that can't be the only thing that you do on YouTube or you will have no channel presence at all. Because YouTube is a search engine. We got to do things that are going to matter in 2 years, not in 2 weeks. But also check this out. Engaging content like property tours, neighborhood highlights, those are big. Market updates will capture attention of viewers, but it will also keep them engaged. There's a higher likelihood of conversion. We're going to talk to you about the ecosystem of conversion on YouTube. You can't just build the channel and hope it converts. That doesn't work. We're going to talk about exactly what you must do. Last thing though, increased reach and exposure. Look at this. YouTube currently has over 2 billion with a B logged in monthly users. It's the largest social media platform globally, but better than that, it's the #2 search engine on the planet, and it's owned by the #1, which is Google. So they're working really tightly together. Why is that so important? Because you can't afford to ignore where literally everyone is going to find out stuff about stuff. You can't afford to ignore it. That's like being like, well, I'm going to be a real estate agent, but I'm not going to be on the internet. YouTube is now the internet. You must be on it, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is no longer optional. I'm just letting you guys know, feel free at your own peril to ignore me. But by leveraging YouTube, you can tap into a vast audience, reach potential buyers and sellers way beyond your local market. In fact, for some of you who were on recently, right, Rick McCone came on here. He's like 67 years old, 65, whatever he is, right? Rick was like, I didn't know anything about anything. Rick's not even doing a quote unquote great job, according to himself. He's now #3 in Phoenix, Arizona, humongous marketplace, 80,000 agents in the MLS. He's #3 on YouTube for that market. He is blowing the doors off the place. What's he do? He goes live every morning and he reads the local market report. Like, dude, this is not super. He's not tap dancing. He doesn't do any lip plumper. I'm just telling you, Rick's on there. He's like reading. He's a fun guy. He's a nice guy, but all of you are nice people too. Guess what? People are looking for the content. And if it's there and you're there to provide it, they're going to find you. And with the right optimization, we're going to talk about that in a second. You can attract viewers, not just locally, but globally. Well, Jeff, why does that matter? Because I don't care where you're located. I know a lot of people on here are on the West Coast. That's great. Guess what? We have people moving in from Asia all the time. Wouldn't it be nice if they found you and they're like, this person looks like they're the #1 resource? Guess what YouTube will do for them? Automatically translate your video into their language without you doing it. So think about that. It suddenly opens the door to every other country for you. Oh, well, I don't speak Mandarin. That's great. Couldn't you refer them to someone who does and earn a 35% referral, whatever percent you do? I'm not price fixing on here. Don't worry. All right, check it out. That's how important it's going to be. Let's talk about what to do. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. You are going to establish authority and credibility. It allows you to be the expert. It allows you to create informative content that they'll actually watch. And when you're providing value, then people keep coming back. And that's a really big thing. I'm going to go a little quicker here. Also, it's a great place for building community. A lot of people will start watching you regularly and they're going to subscribe. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to like all your videos. They're going to fall in love with you to the point where when they call you, they're going to be like, Linda McComish, I know exactly who you are. You're a superstar. I can't believe it. You're incredible. And I know you work in 2 states and you're, oh my gosh, you're awesome, right? She's my Fort Myers gal. I love it. So check it out. Real estate agents can create content that focuses on your local community, including events, other businesses, attractions. It doesn't matter. Just make it locally relevant. Think about this. You're like the curator of your community now. You don't have to just sell real estate. You're selling your whole town, right? If you're in Atlanta, you're saying, here's why Atlanta is so great. Here's the best 4 places. I just saw a team that we've got. They were like, here's the best 5 places to go grocery shopping in Atlanta, no matter where you're located. You're going to love it, right? That's awesome. They got a ton of views. Why? Because that's great stuff. People want to know. It's awesome. And it creates just enough, like, I wonder where they're going to recommend. I should check that out, right? And if you ever need any real estate help, give us a call, right? At the end. So a lot of lifestyles, amenities, that kind of stuff, not just selling property, right? But then it's going to connect you with some other mortgage brokers, home stagers, other agents, by the way. It's another great way to meet them. It's a really good thing. So check it out. What steps should I take to make sure that I'm building it right? Now we're going to go really deep on this really fast. So feel free to come back to this. We're recording this. We're going to put this inside the communitycenter.com so that for those of you who are already with us, you're going to have direct access. Come back, make this into a checklist or screenshot it right now. I don't care. Start a YouTube channel. Something like Living in Atlanta as the name of your channel will dramatically outperform Bob Jones Realtor. Nobody who doesn't know you is searching for that on anywhere ever. Google, YouTube, for that matter, anything, anywhere. If they don't know you, why would they Google your name? People who go around Googling their own name, it's like absolute insanity. What are people searching for? Well, what's it like to live in Atlanta? Remember, a lot of people have received geographic freedom in the last 24 months. Well, I work for LexisNexis, but I can work anywhere. Well, I work for, the Boring Project. with Elon Musk. Well, that's great, but I can work anywhere. So now I want to live in Wyoming, or I want to live in Utah, or I used to live in Wyoming, but now I'm going to live in Oregon, or I used to live in Oregon, but now I'm going to live in Texas. Great. You want to find those people as they're sniffing out their opportunity so that they start coming back and consuming your content where they're learning about your area. What are the things you'd want to know, right? If you were considering moving from where you are right now to pick a place, Chicago, Illinois. Okay, great. Dion Branch is a great agent out there, right? Wouldn't it be great if you went and just started consuming content and it was like, well, here's some really cool up and coming areas where we see property values just skyrocketing, a lot of gentrifications going on. But if you like nightlife, here's another area that you're really going to love, right? Or whatever. It's very cool. Love that kind of content, but that's what people are searching for. So make sure that your channel name aligns. Number two, you're going to post videos that people even considering that place are going to want to watch. Generally speaking, that's not actually going to include 123 Main Street's for sale. Look at it. If I'm considering moving to, I mentioned Fort Myers a minute ago, I'm not going to Google 123 Main Street, and I'm not going to Google Linda McComish. I want to work with Linda McComish, but I'm not going to Google that. What am I going to Google? What's it like to live in Fort Myers? Or what are the best things about Fort Myers? Or what? Think about that and to come up with that list. And if you can't come up with it, go into ChatGPT and ask it, and it will come up with that list. It'll give you 50 of them, by the way, for free. It's awesome. Just ask. And I want you to know best of and worst of. It turns out the worst of ones perform slightly better. So use some of that, but be guarded. You don't want your whole channel to just be negative Nancy stuff. But I will tell you, the worst things about living in Fort Myers will outperform the best things of living in Fort Myers all day long and twice on Sunday. Human nature, for whatever reason, we're just drawn to that. So I would say do both, right? Give some positive out there. Make sure that you still have that balance, that yin and yang in your channel. You just don't want to be kind of the doom and gloom channel, but also recognize that they perform really well. Next up, there's a 5-star success points. I want you to think about this being a star. 5-point star, and you have to have all 5 of these for every single video that you post. What are the 5 things? Write these down. If you write down nothing else today, it must be the title, the description, the image, the tags, and the script of your video. All 5 of those things have to work together to build your video's relevance on that platform. Title, description, image, tags, and script. This is so important. I'm going to give you a tool in a moment that's going to help you do this at a very, very high level, and it's driven by AI and it's free to use. Okay? I'm going to give you a tool in a second. What do you mean they have to synergize and work together? I mean, if your title says cool property for sale, and then your description says, we're going to walk you through some cool neighborhoods that are really, really cool for people considering moving to, Hawaii. And then your image is a picture of a Chihuahua, and your tags are all the wrong things, and your scripting is then you talking about what flavor ice cream you like, one person will ever see your video because YouTube will punish you forever. But if your title is best places to live in Hawaii, and your description is check out this amazing video where we cover all the best places to live in Hawaii, and we're going to walk you through why they're so great and blah, 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 and a bunch of more information about why that's going to be so cool. And then your image is you standing in front of like 5 locations on a map, right? Just smiling. And it says best places Hawaii, maybe 3 words, right? Perfect. It's legible from on a phone screen. And then your tags say best places Hawaii, 5 best places Hawaii, best places to live in Hawaii, why Hawaii is so awesome, everything you want to know about living in Hawaii. Yet you go through every single one of the tags you can possibly think of that completely complement your title, your description, your image. And then when you do the video, you say, welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about the 5 best places to live in Hawaii. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. Quick intro for 2 seconds. Then you're back at it. Here's number 1, right? Whatever. Now you walk them through it. And at the end, you're like, thanks for watching our video about the 5 best places to live in Hawaii. If you're interested in more information, subscribe to our channel and like this video. That's it. Now, what did you do? You aligned all 5 success points, and your video will get found. In month 1, not so much. In month 12 to 18 to 24, a heck of a lot, and especially if you keep going. Get good at this over time. Do not expect to be good at this on your first one. You're welcome to tank. Nobody's looking. Nobody will ever see it. When your video, when your platform, when your channel doesn't have much integrity yet, not a lot of people are going to see it, but no one will ever see anything unless you start today. Check this out. This is the tool I was mentioning. It's called vidIQ. This is recommended by a gentleman on YouTube. He's got a couple of views. His name's Mr. Beast. Last year, he was paid, I think it was $46 million by YouTube just for advertising because of how many views he got on his channel. His channel's mostly people falling down and blowing stuff up, but it's very cool. And he's incredibly good at leveraging it. And what's interesting is if you actually watch interviews with him, he's absolutely brilliant as a marketer. He totally understands that this is a digital marketing platform, and he's leveraging very high visibility content that people want to watch. Now that's fine. You're not doing that. You're doing real estate. But the truth is these same metrics are going to apply. If you go into vidIQ, it will give you free recommendations on the name of your video. What type of an image should you use? And then it will give you even a score to let you know, hey, your score right now is a 2 out of 50. Fix these things and it'll be a 47 out of 50. That's really good. Okay. So you're going to want to max out your score. It becomes a game. Very easy. But these 5 items have to agree with each other. And then lastly, be consistent, meaning you need to be posting multiple times a week, probably at minimum once a week. Good, if not even great content. Jeff, I don't know how to do it. Great. How are you going to learn? I'm guessing you could find out how to do it on YouTube. That's the hilarious part. Literally, you could go to the place and learn how to do the thing right there. Or reach out to me. That's fine. I can help. But then what? I'm going to get this next part really matters. Please screenshot this if you haven't considered these items. After your channel is up and purring, pouring. Anyway, after your channel's up and running, then you're going to send your new videos, or at least one a month, out to your database using KV Core as a value add for them. Hey, everyone, wanted to let you know we just released an awesome video on the best places to go grocery shopping here in Atlanta. We knew all of you would love it. Feel free to like and subscribe or share with your friends. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we were just over at, Rogers Barbecue. It's the new barbecue joint over on, Smith Square. And we wanted you guys to know all about it. We even interviewed the owner. It's awesome. Check it out. And you send that out once a month. Why is that so important? Because it's going to get you subscribers and views, both of which are going to drive the algorithm and help your channel to grow 100 times faster. So remember, you were spending all that time developing your database and your past clients' sphere of influence and your open houses. What am I doing with all those people? Part of it can be you're sending them your new YouTube content, which synergizes your YouTube strategy. Awesome. In every single one of your descriptions, which is what comes under the video, okay? In every single one of your descriptions, be sure to include a call to action. Now, I'm going to tell you a little hack here. A Calendly link will actually outperform a call me link every single time. What's a Calendly link? It allows them to directly book an appointment to talk with you. Schedule a phone call or schedule a Zoom call. That's incredible. Well, Jeff, how much does Calendly cost? Because I can't afford it. Well, $0 a month. So yes, you can. And go set one up. It'll synergize directly with your calendar. Well, I'm not using a calendar. Well, let's not even go there. Use a calendar and have this go ahead and book appointments directly into your calendar. Put it under every single video, value add, value add, value add. If you have a question about how to do this, we'll give you some examples, but I'm just telling you a nice little, and this can be your standard drop-in. In fact, there's a place inside your YouTube channel where you can tell it underneath every single video, put this. You could build it out, right? I can still see Linda here on the screen. So Linda McComish is a top-ranked real estate agent, been in the business for over 30 years, has sold more houses than God, right? She's incredible. Holy moly. Can't believe it. Top 1% in this, top 2% in that, blah, blah, blah. Click to schedule an appointment to talk with Linda about any real estate needs. Woo! Love it. If she put, call me at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many people, because by the way, that's not even clickable. So they can't click that. And now they got to go remember your phone number, type it into their phone. 1 out of every 1,000, maybe. Okay. Just way more effective this way. I would also consider putting what's called a main video or an intro video, your primary reel on your channel. We can talk about this. We'll do a more in-depth training on this that introduces you as the local area expert, and also that you help people buy, sell, or invest in real estate in your area, but that your channel is going to be about everything having to do with your area. Gosh, I just love it here. My area is so cool. Gosh, I love my town and I love bringing people together. We're going to talk about everything, right? Here's the top 5 major philanthropy events that happen every single year here in Salem, Oregon. I see some people from there, right? Incredible. And then you're going to add a subscribe to my channel on YouTube button on your email signature for every single email that goes out of your KV Core. Remember those 1,680 people that are hearing from you once a week? That's 1,680 times 52. That's a lot of touches. you're going to get a lot of subscribers this way. I gave you a hack here at the bottom. So what you'll notice is it's www.youtube.com, your channel name, which is the at symbol, and then your channel name. And then you add this little extra verbiage, $sub _ confirmation =1. It's got to be exactly that. Why, Jeff? Because when they click this link, it says, would you like to go ahead and confirm that you're going to subscribe? Most people will say proceed. You can have that as like a bit.ly link, subscribe here, or whatever it is. If you've never used bit.ly, that's also free. It's a URL shortener, so it doesn't have to look like a mile-long URL, right? Real simple. And we get all this nonsense out of the way. It's just like, subscribe to Jordan, right? Or whatever. That's an awesome option. And I would put it at the bottom of your email. In fact, if you're really slick, I'd put it as a button, like an image that actually goes to this link at the bottom of your email. So it's super noticeable in a color that can't be missed, like red or blue, bright blue, right? Something that they can't miss. It's awesome. And then stay consistent. We're going to keep hitting that as a target. Stay consistent with adding new content to your channel, because consistency is key. This is such a big one. And wait until you see what we do here at the end. And then when I tie it back, because I made a big promise for those of you who came in maybe a couple minutes late, we're going to do this at the end, and you're going to see how all this pulls together, right? But it's blurry here. I'm not telling you what it all is yet, because then I give away the whole thing. And some of you will be like, well, now I know everything. All right. So check it out, though. We're building YouTube, right? And that's a really important part that we just put together. All right. Whoops. Hold on. Jump forward. There's where we were. So long tail strategy number 2, and then I'm going to show you how they all pull together. These are called nurture leads. So a friend of mine, his name is Tim, he built a nurture business during the last downturn. Came out of the downturn closing 500 transactions per year. 500. 100% of his efforts were on building a nurture business. He could afford to float himself down the stream without building any other part of his business. That's fine. If you can't, this needs to be part of your business. What are nurture leads? We're going to cover that in a second. What the heck's a nurture lead, Jeff? All right, let's do it. These are people who plan to do something, quote, later. Anyone found any of them recently? People were like, well, I may wait. And what I will tell you is most agents just forget about those people. And that is like $100 bill that you're required to put, or a $10,000 bill, honestly, that you're required to put in a safe, and you can't touch it for 18 months. That's why we call it a long tail strategy, right? Does it matter? Yeah, of course it matters. But is it going to pay off tomorrow? No, that's why we call them nurture leads. You have to nurture them. They need to be stored in your database as #nurture. And then you have to communicate with them at least every 2 weeks from now until they die or they tell you to stop. Either one. If you do this with consistency, you will have a monster business waiting for you. And when you see how we synergize these things together in a minute, you're going to be like, geez, Louise, this is actually a little ecosystem I could just go build. Easy. Why? Because fortunes were made in the last downturn on nurture businesses alone. Tim made over $2 million his first year when the markets recovered, which was, I think, 10 for him. Huge. Anyone want to make over $1 million? Let's do it. Okay. So, and it can be a very low key way to build your business and your database. What do you mean low key? I mean, it's non-threatening. If I'm talking with Bill, and Bill's not an agent, excuse me, he's a potential buyer, but he says, we're going to wait, and we've just decided for sure, we're just not going to do anything. He's very sure. And I can tell there's no way to really swing him or educate him up into doing something now. Hey, listen, Bill, that's great. Would you be offended? Listen to that word. That script is critical. Would you be offended if I just kept in touch so that I'd be available when the time is right for you guys? Please write down that script. Would you be offended if I just kept in touch so that I can be available when the time is right for you guys? Would you be offended if I just kept in touch so that I could be available when the time is right for you guys? You'll notice I know that script. Also works for recruiting. So what's the strategy to find, sort, and collect these leads? Let's check it out. I recommend circle dialing. This is my personal preference. Physical door knocking can work great. Mailers are not going to work. Not for this. You need to have a conversation with people. Community events could work really nicely if you're going to do a lot of them, right? I know that somebody here in the community, Luna Mariah, she just won the Philanthropist of the Year because she's doing all these huge events. It's incredible. She's got thousands of people showing up for a backpack drive. That might work because now you're meeting a lot of people. Some of them are going to have very low intent. They'd be a nurture lead. It doesn't mean they're never going to do anything. It just means they're not doing it this year for sure. Great. Orphans would be nurture leads. What's an orphan? It means they just closed a transaction with another agent over at RE/MAX. Okay, who cares? What I know is that most likely that agent will never talk to them again. They're an orphan. Poor baby. Wouldn't it be nice if they talked to you from now on? They'll do business. They won't even remember the name of that agent in about 6 months. Promise. If you're going to do circle dialing, though, you could use any of these services like RedX, LandVoice, Vulcan 7, Mojo Cells. There's other alternatives out there. All of these do cost a little bit. Why? Because they're pulling contact data for full neighborhoods. You can use Cole Realty Resource to pull full neighborhood details, all sorts of stuff. There's a number of these services, but what they're all going to do is they're going to pull a neighborhood. You can scrub for do not calls to make sure that you're staying compliant on that. You know, EXP actually has provided us with a free service to scrub for DNC, so you don't even need to pay for that upgrade. So you can run your list through there and then just call, baby, call. Hey, how you doing? We're talking to people in the neighborhood. We know some people have some interest in what's going on with real estate. Just curious, do you happen to know anyone in the neighborhood who has any real estate plans coming up in the next 12 months? No, not really. Hey, let me ask you this. When you guys do intend to, sell your house or buy a new house, when do you think that'll be? Gosh, it'll be like 3 or 4 years. Well, let me ask you, would you be offended if I kept in touch every once in a while? Nothing too annoying, just to make sure that I am available when the time is right for you guys? No, of course I wouldn't be offended, Jeff. Great. Boom, nurture lead created. Let's go. The main thing that you're looking for is a yes to, do you think you might have some plans in real estate when things do change for you in the future? Well, of course. By the way, if they're alive, they will have plans in real estate in the future. And if you're walking past all of those leads, that's probably 95% of your potential business in the future that you're literally walking past. Pick up that business now. Nurture it like your life depends on it, and it will be waiting for you when the market turns up. We said we were going to do 2 long tail strategies. This is a huge one today. And then I'd recommend putting those leads on a 14-day, not a 7-day, don't be too annoying, 14-day market update for their city. Easy. Listen, I'll just touch base with you every once in a while, and then you can send them a text once every 3 months. How do I do that? Well, if you have them hashtag nurture, you say sort by hashtag nurture, select all, send a text every 3 months. You have to do it manually. Your text could be, hey, I just did a quick video on a market update, how things are going in the market, and I wanted you to see it. Text out the link to the YouTube video for them. At the end, it'll display, and it sends to everybody in your entire database. How many views are you going to get on that? Well, how many people are in your database? It's pretty cool. So we're just after the hour here. I'm going to talk to you about putting it all together, and then we'll run some Q&A because this is going to be so powerful. And I walked through this with a couple different people, and every single one of them have this exact structure that I'm about to show you. And you don't honestly need a lot of other fluff in your business right now. Number one, a database, automation plus AI. Well, where would I get that? You already have KV Core. You got it. Congratulations. It may not have anything in it yet, but you own it right now. And if you're not with us, please talk to the person who invited you here today so you can get this going immediately. This is critical, man. You got to go. All right. So next up, what do we say? Well, we're going to be talking to our sphere of influence, and we're going to connect those people into our database. Can we show you how to do that at a higher level? Yes. Hop on with Liz. She does a whole training platform on how to do that. Next up, though, PC. What's PC stand for? Past clients. They need to be in there. They're going to be dealt with slightly differently, but you just hashtag PC, whatever you're going to do. Okay. Make sure that you can find them easily. Some people will even, label them, tag them by year, all sorts of, you can get really granular if you want to. Just make sure they're in there, guys. If they're not in there, you can't do anything, right? I think that's the first mountain you got to climb. Next up, open houses. Every person you ever have met at an open house should be in your database. Why? I can't do it. Then great, start now. That's okay. Sometimes you can't go backwards, right? If you've been in real estate for 120 years and you haven't been doing it, okay, it doesn't matter. But guess what? When can you start? Immediately. That's the beautiful thing. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to start over. I used to have my coach tell me that all the time. I'd screw something up. I'd be like, he'd be like, dude, it's never too late to start over. What are you getting all bent out of shape over? It's like there's agents who are starting today who are going to outperform you in the next 12 months, starting today. So stop beating yourself up. Just outperform them in the next 12 months. Next up, YouTube. You're driving your YouTube links into a Calendly. It'll synergize with your database. We're going to talk about that in another training. We'll show you how to pencil all this together, string it all together, make it make sense. At a bare minimum, you're going to shoot people over to a place where they could subscribe to get more information, right? You're going to drive them to a landing page or a squeeze page that you can build. How many of those can I build on my KV Core? An infinite number. Really infinite? Yes. You could build 6 million landing pages if you wanted to. Don't, but you could. Next up, your nurtures. They're all going to go into your database. Can you imagine if you had all of this feeding into your database all the time? So your entire business was about making phone calls over here, building out your YouTube channel, adding nurtures, and then putting them all into your database so that you can communicate with them. But let's talk about what happens. Remember, I want to get my past clients, my sphere of influence, and my nurtures to all also be aware of my YouTube channel. Because remember, YouTube's going to build relevance and it will directly advertise on your behalf to all of these people over time. So they're going to start seeing you more and more without you paying more and more. And here's another quick little trick. The more people you can get on there, there's an actual metric that you can pass where YouTube will start sending you a check every month because you're getting so many views. It's happened for a number of us on Facebook and Instagram. Some of us are building that on YouTube. It's incredible, right? How good would it feel to be paid to be marketing your business instead of to have to pay to get leads? You're getting paid to get leads. That's better. Yep, I'm in. Let's do it. What are we going to do from there? Remember, our YouTube's going to connect out to our Calendly. Go to calendly.com, L-Y at the end.com. You just select free and go set it up. You need to have a Google Calendar. If you don't have a Google Calendar, get a Gmail account, set up your calendar, start using that as your calendar and connect it, or connect it to your other calendar services, whatever you're doing. But I'm just telling you, that's powerful. It's very powerful. I use it all the time for myself. Love Calendly. I do have the upgraded service, but doesn't matter. You don't need it on for a while. You won't need it. And by the time you do, it's going to be a lot cheaper. All right, Google Calendar. That's what you're probably going to need to connect your Calendly to. Now, here's where it gets really fun. Then synergize. Now your database is communicating outbound with all of these people and inbound in terms of you adding new leads. There's a synergistic connection between what's happening in your database, and you start driving your business from the hot seat, which is literally in front of your laptop, right? This is what's beautiful about this approach is once this is built, where can you run your business from? The answer is anywhere. You can run your business from anywhere. You can run your real estate business from anywhere. I would love for you to have that level of freedom, autonomy, and also power, right? Tyler even says you're going to mark them as hot, warm, and cold. That's weekly, biweekly, and quarterly. And that you can take every single one of them can be in a new, what's called pond with different actions, triggers, follow-ups. My goodness, there's so much that you can do here, right? And a lot of people have been learning how to do this, but I'm just going to tell you right now, this is your next mountain. Take a picture of this, make sure it's built in your business. This screen is your key to riches instead of wishes in the real estate industry right now. Well, gosh, I don't know if that's going to be successful. I do. And I know in 12 months, you'll wish you had done it today. So stop waiting. Just do this. Well, I don't know how to start on YouTube. Do one thing today. I live in Puerto Rico, and sometimes it's a little hard to get renovation projects done here because guess what? Where we live, there's a shortage of contractors. It's just a shortage of contract labor. So one of our good friends, Gene Frederick, is an awesome guy and lives here in our neighborhood. And he said, if you can get one thing done per day, that's going to be awesome, man. And I was like, you're crazy. And then I realized that's 365 things a year. Holy moly, you'd be successful, right? Sometimes we limit ourselves because we're like, I got to get everything done. I got so much to do. Stop having so much to do. Pick the thing at the top of the list and knock it out. Let's go. One thing a day. So build out your list. These are all the things I got to take care of, and then knock out one per day, right? This is not a huge deal. And I'm guessing that the biggest hang up, if you've been in real estate for a while, you may not have that YouTube piece built into your infrastructure. If you're new to real estate, you may not have a database set up yet. Talk to a lot of agents who are like, I don't have a database, right? I don't have anywhere where I'm putting my sphere of my past clients. Yeah, well, fix that immediately. Top producers all have a database. Super top producers live in their database. They know it is literally worth actual money to them. They could sell their database. That's how valuable it is. If Allie has 12,000 people, there's literally a drop-down metric. She could sell that database to somebody. That's huge. Okay. This is really important. So you're building something that has permanence. And then here's the fun part. This synergistic approach, I just have to really lean in one more time on this, where now everything in your database is driving to your YouTube channel so that you can build viewer count, both from your own database efforts, but also YouTube will help you to grow over time. It is going to be the great amplifier. That's why I put it in red on this image. It will amplify your efforts as it starts to gain traction over the next 12 to 24 months. Well, that's a long time. No, it isn't. It just isn't. So chill out. As it starts to gain traction, you will have your 1,680 or whatever it is people that you've put over here. YouTube will give you another 24,000 for free. That is a good multiplier. It's free. And eventually they'll pay you when it starts happening. That's provided that your channel follows that 5-star, let's call it a 5-star review, right? You got to have your title, your image, your description, all that stuff, right? That has to synergize. So this is a really, really killer strategy. And by the way, if you have agents in your organization, agents in your team, agents that you know locally, and they're trying to figure it out, this ecosystem works. Now, do you have to work to do this? Yes. Could I calculate out your hourly wage if you actually did this, what we're describing here, for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, again, with the sets for the YouTube channel, with all the sets. Yep, Jenny, I'll put that on the screen in just a second. If you did this, I could calculate out your hourly wage. My guess is it's going to be ridiculously good, better than most attorneys. Right? So you don't even have to go to law school. The steps, there you go. I was like, what are the sets? Thanks, Jenny. You're the best. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and put that back on the screen. I'll find it really quickly for you. The steps for the YouTube channel. All right. So we're going to go first up to here. Go ahead and screenshot that if you want. Start your channel, post videos that people want to watch, the 5 success points, title, description, image, tags, and script, then be consistent. Next screen. Okay, you got that one. Hopefully, go quick. And next screen, come 3, 2, 1. There we go. Then once it's up and running, send your new videos to your whole database, every single person. Everybody? Yeah, why not? What's the worst that they'll do? Unsubscribe? Okay. Do it anyway. And then connect your channel to a Calendly link so that they can directly book an appointment with you. That's awesome. If you want to pay for advanced features, go for it. Then you could have like interested in you selling your house, click here and they get a listing appointment on Zoom with you. Holy moly. And a buyer's appointment, you get to ask different questions, have like a form. It gives you all the data before the appointment. It's very cool. But honestly, you don't even need all that. What's your name? What time you want to talk? Let's go. That's great. Then I would consider a main video, add the subscribe button. Remember this little fancy subscribe button that we got down here, and then stay consistent. That's it. Hope that helps, Jenny. Got those screenshots or steps or sets, depending on what you're going to say. All right. Hopefully that helps. Good. Any other questions? Any other comments, concerns, or anybody doing this right now who's like, yeah, this is working for me?
Hey, Jeff, Jeff,
yeah,
how important, oh, it's an echo, sorry. How important do you think it is to have thumbnails on every video? Because that kind of keeps me from doing it.
When you say thumbnails, are you talking about the actual image that goes up onto YouTube?
Mm-hmm, like the front image, yeah.
It's one of the most important things. I would say that those 5 things are critical and they have to be put together. Now, here's what I'll tell you, Liz. If you're doing videos and it's the one ththing that's holding you back is what do I do on that front video? Then initially either go over to Calendly, or not Calendly, I am so sorry, Canva. And Canva has free templates that you could use for right now. So better than nothing, go do that, right? Or go to Fiverr, FIVERR.com. And there's people who will come up with high performance, what do you call these? The thumbnail images for your videos. There are also AI services that will literally just come up with one for you. By the way, you're going to want to be in most of those images. So if you're talking about the 10 places that are the coolest here in Independence, Oregon, right? Have like a map shot or an overhead shot and have like 1 through 10 in the background. And then like you're in front of it like, woo, or whatever, you're like, you've seen them before. Just go onto YouTube for 10 minutes, type in anything, and the videos that are at the top of the roll are the ones that are getting rated the highest. So if your video image looks kind of like those, then great. Don't try and put a bunch of garbage on your image. By the way, your image needs to have 3, maybe 4 words max. So like top 10 independents, literally, it doesn't matter, right? And then the video title will confirm that, the description will confirm that, your script will confirm that. The image just needs to reinforce that this is what they're really going to get. Super valid. Really, really great question. But yeah, just don't let it get in your way. You're such a top producer. There's no reason to slow down for that. Jason, I saw that you unmuted, brother.
It's probably an accident, but since I'm here now, so while you were talking about that, Calendly has been something we've been working on. So I figured while you were talking about it, I was going to set it up. So that's why I took off my video there, because of the pulling my hair out while I was doing it. But it was actually super easy to get set up, and I've already put it to my Google Calendar. And while we were doing that, I just did a quick, YouTube search. There's videos that are less than 12 minutes that have over 100,000 views on why to move to, or top 10 reasons on why to move to Oregon. So guess what? I'm going to come up with a top 11, and I'm going to mimic that video, right? So that's what you're talking about, right? Find what's working out there and then use that.
Yep.
Okay.
And in fact,
awesome,
Jason,
brother.
let's add to it. What if you found a video that's crushing it, and then you just said in 2024?
Yeah.
Just do the same thing they did. Kind of rewrite their description, or have ChatGPT rewrite it. Have ChatGPT write the script. Use this, like one of these literally teleprompter apps that you can put on your phone. Read down the script, be enthusiastic, and post that son of a gun. Right now, could it be better? Sure, but for right now, that would kill. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, if you see the videos I have right now, you'd be like, oh, he can improve. Trust me. So another thing that was just phenomenal was that CRM, that mass video sent out with your YouTube link. I've got to put a date on when that has to be done by, because that's a huge way to get followers. So this is powerful, Jeff. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
It is absolutely my pleasure. And this idea of leveraging your CRM to build other things that you're doing, right? We're looking always for an ecosystem of synergy where things point at each other, right? I'm trying to add more people to my database, but as soon as I add them to my database, I want them to be aware of my YouTube channel. Why? Because it keeps them engaged with my brand. And remember, our brands are moving online. Well, but real estate's a local business. Yeah, so is YouTube, guys. YouTube's a local business. It just doesn't totally click if you grew up like before the internet. But I'm just telling you, it is a local business. People are going on YouTube to learn about all your favorite restaurants and the cool parks in your area and what, roads to avoid at rush hour or whatever, right? Like literally, you could think of 1,000,001 things, go for it, and then post them. Is that all you got, brother?
Yeah,
right,
I was just going to throw one more thing in there that I'm going to start, after we're done with closing, that's the best time to have them subscribe to your YouTube video to keep up to date on what you're giving for the market. I mean,
I love it.
They love you. They like you. I mean, you might as well do it right then. So,
yep. I love that too. And here's the other thing, Jason. What if you also just talk to them really quickly, but don't talk to them about how great you are? This is the mistake that I see people doing with client testimonials. Well, would you mind talking about how awesome I am? Just be awesome, right? So interview them in an awesome way about why they love your town so much, right? Stay a degree away from yourself. Ego marketing doesn't work anymore. But I'm telling you right now, if you go out there and you say, what is it that you love so much about Albany, right? I know Jason's in Albany. That's awesome. Albany, Oregon, right? And so what is it that you love so much about Albany? What's your favorite restaurant here? What is it what are 2 other things that everyone thinking about moving to Albany should know right now, right? And you're just happy and excited. You get them happy and excited. And then if it's great, post it. That's awesome. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to go to that YouTube channel, send them the link. They'll send it to all their friends and family to watch. You get a ton of free views. That's great. Why? Because they're just excited that you're making them look great. You need their permission, obviously, to do all this stuff, but that's easy. If they let you shoot the video, it feels like estoppel permission right there anyway. So you're good to go, right? Put them out there. This is awesome, guys. I love all the great ideas. And Tyler says YouTube University, Google Academy. There's so many great resources, guys, to learn how to do this stuff. There is no excuse anymore. But here's the one thing I will tell you. I see tons of people who are like, I'm going to learn all of my best real estate stuff from other real estate agents. Real estate agents have not figured out YouTube, not really yet. There are some people who have kind of done pretty well, but nobody's doing like 25 million subscribers in the real estate space. Look at actual influencers who are leveraging YouTube correctly. Many of them are very intelligent. I just want you guys to know this. Their brand might be, right? But their intelligence that's behind that brand is truly extraordinary. So you need to understand what are the marketing dynamics that are driving this, because this is digital marketing 101. But I haven't been pushing this hard. I was nervous to do it today, but I'm not going to be nervous anymore. You have to be on this platform. It must happen. Please build your business in this way and synergize it in the ways that we're talking about. So it doesn't replace the, let's call it old school strategies. It augments them. It keeps you connected in a visual way with your user base. So now eventually, guess what? They're going to be hearing from you, seeing you all the time. And then you're going to start getting the calls that Rick told us about when he did his training for the community, where he said he's getting 2 calls per week from people who are like, oh, this is Rick. I feel like I already know you. I've been watching you for a year or 2 years. This is so cool. You're Rick. I can't wait. And they're like, can you come list our house? Excuse me? That's amazing. That is what I want for all of you. Can you come list my house is the best phone call you can possibly get in real estate. That's the gold standard of real estate. But you have to start building it now and connect it back with this ecosystem. It will grow more slowly if all you do is YouTube. It will grow more slowly if all you do is open houses. It will grow more slowly if I could exaggerate the example, and I won't. When you do them all and you connect them back together, then it speeds up. And that's what I'm trying to show you today. Pour a little gasoline on this bad boy and watch it explode over the next year. And that's going to be absolutely unbelievable. So that's what I've got for today. Any other questions that we could handle, or any other comments? Anybody who wants to say amen or anything like that? I don't really care. Happy to present your ideas on here. I've always been surprised that nobody's like, I'm in this area, send me a referral. All right. It's a free place to do it. So guess what, guys? First off, really excited. Second off, please do consider, by the way, since you're still on this tax year, going out and booking some of those events we talked about at the beginning, especially EXPCon. We'd love to hang with all of you guys in Miami Beach next year. That's going to be so fun, right? I've already got to start working out, get ready for the beach. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to have a lot of fun, though. It's a really great time. And by the way, why do I say this tax year? Because again, you may be, I don't know, it depends on your personal situation. You might be looking for deductions. Education events are generally an acceptable deduction. Talk to your CPA. I'm not that person, but great idea to plan ahead a little bit. You've got until the end of the year, but consider that now while tickets are still cheaper. So it's a really good option. And I would really strongly recommend it. Next week, we've got something really special coming at you, so stay tuned inside the community center. It's going to be a really big one. Multiple presenters on a really big topic, so I'm pretty excited. And by the way, if you have anybody that we can help you with, if they want to learn a little bit more about whether it's eXp Realty or the community, I think I just pointed to the wrong sides. We'd love to help you have those conversations. The community's here to support you as you grow your brokerage footprint. You don't have to have 40 years in real estate to own a brokerage here at eXp. We make it easy for everybody because we don't waste money on empty buildings or high-paid recruiters who don't produce results. Instead, we give all of that money back to our agents to support you in your business because we believe that that's more ethical. I think you probably agree. All right, my friends, this is awesome. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Love being connected with the community. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye, everybody.